welcome back to Broadway Besties. I am Kat,
I'm Jesse.
and today we will be talking about The Nightmare Before Christmas. Ooh, spooky, because it's spooky
Yep.
season.
Welcome to
Ooh.
our Halloween
Episode.
Welcome to our Halloween special, everyone.
Yay!
Yes, The Nightmare Before Christmas, for those of you who are unfamiliar, it was, I believe, in the mid-90s, mid to late 90s. Classic
1993.
claymation movie, not directed by Tim Burton, but produced and funded by Tim Burton. It was directed by someone else whose name eludes me. Went on to
Henry
direct
Selick.
Henry Selick, who went on to direct Coraline, and it follows the tale of Jack Skellington in a world full of like these tree worlds that contain different holidays. And Jack Skellington is the Pumpkin King and ruler over Halloween Town, and that's his domain, but he's grown discontent with the Halloween spirit and being cheered on day in and day out and the same old thing after year. So he decides to discover a different holiday. What kind of havoc will ensue? We'll just have to watch the movie and find out.
And
listen to
most
this
likely
podcast.
most likely you've probably already seen it, but we're going to talk about it because it's a great movie slash musical. And I was looking online, and I think they should make it into like a musical. There was like um a fan made one that never actually, I think, saw the light of day other than like a small production of it, which would be really cool. But I couldn't see if they like had any Broadway version. I don't think they do.
Yeah, we should definitely cross that path of could this work on stage? That is a really solid point. I will say before we get into that discussion, I don't know if this would work on stage as well, but I could be wrong. Beetlejuice has definitely proven that you can have big, wacky set pieces in the Tim Burton aesthetic translate to stage well, so potentially, but yeah, so Kat, what is your history with this classic movie?
I believe, let's see, how old was I when this came out? I was 6 years old when this came out. And I don't think I saw it till I was like at least maybe a couple years later, so like 8 or 9.
Mhm.
And I loved this movie. I was terrified of Oogie Boogie, which is the boogeyman, for those who don't know.
Yeah.
Because it was just so terrifying, like as a kid, to like see this creepy dude, and then he like gets unraveled and is just bugs inside. Like that just creeped me out. And it still kind of makes me go, ugh, now in my 30s. But I can actually watch it now without like being completely freaked out. But yeah, I loved it. I loved the like I think this was one of like the first kind of claymation like real kind of movie thing I had seen, other than Wallace and Gromit. And it was like this whole new world, and I think it was one of like was it like the first claymation thing, or did Wallace and Gromit come first? Now I have to
I
look
think
this up.
Wallace and Gromit came first.
Okay. Um, but yeah, it was just like this really cool experience, and it was a great kind of dual holiday movie, which I enjoyed because you could watch it twice a year. How about you?
For me, I grew up loving this movie. I've watched it since I was a little kid, had it on VHS. I had a
Mhm.
plushie of Zero, I had Jack, I had toys of Jack, Sally, Oogie Boogie, the
Aw.
mayor, even, and I always just loved this movie and always loved the songs, loved it from start to finish, would quote the movie. So I've always loved it. I've always associated it with Halloween because 75% of the movie takes place in Halloween Town, but the older I've gotten, the more I realize that it is a very unique piece of both.
Yeah.
So I do enjoy it very much so.
And it's nice for people who love Halloween and don't want it to end, because then they can have kind of like a little replay of Halloween during Christmas time.
Yeah. So what are your favorite songs? Because this The soundtrack to Nightmare Before Christmas is very iconic. There's not one song in this I don't love. And even like in a couple weeks, like when it's Thanksgiving time, I usually when I'm decorating at least once I'll think of the song Making Christmas.
Make
But
Christmas. La la la.
Making Christmas. Yeah, and also that's one thing I saw this pointed out in like a video review.
Mm-hmm.
They say la 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 so many times throughout this movie in so many songs. Like they say it in This Is Halloween, they say it in Making Christmas, they say it in Kidnap the Santa Claus. Was Danny Elfman's favorite thing to do when he didn't have an idea for a lyric is just have everybody go la 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 la. It's like crap, I can't come up with a line. Just have them say la a bunch. I just want to wrap this up. I want to go work on Batman or something like that. Like,
Well, I think also the fact that they like a lot of the actors sang their own stuff, and so I think he tried to like make things that the actors could do that sounded somewhat good. So the la 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 is like some people can't do that like the whole thing. I
yeah.
can't do it half the time. But la 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 you can kind of hit whatever note and just hit the la 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 like
Oh.
that thing. But yeah, I think I definitely think one of my absolute favorite songs is just the opening number is This Is Halloween. Like it just like the way it talks about like what is spooky and like I'm the wind blowing through your hair. Like it's so detailed and so creative and it just I love Jack coming in his like pumpkin outfit and then jumping into like I don't know if it's acid or what the hell the fountain is made out
Well,
of.
he lights himself on fire.
He lights himself on fire, then jumps into the fountain, and then comes out, and he's the skeleton. And I thought that was like the coolest transition.
Oh, yeah.
And like the tone of it is so cool because it has like everybody's voice. My cat almost just knocked over a glass thing. Oh, that was terrifying, Belle. um, she's like, "I'll show you what's spooky." Um, but yeah, like I loved how they like incorporated a lot of the like cast that normally doesn't get to talk throughout the movie. They get to have their big opening number, which is cool. And then Jack's Lament has like some just beautiful notes in the chorus, and it's also hilarious. Like he's like, "And since I am dead, I can take off my head and to recite Shakespearean notations." I just love that part because it's like to be or not to be, and he's holding, "Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him well." And then what's this is like it's the first song that transitions from like spooky to oh, it's Christmas. Oh my goodness, and it's festive, and this is a whole new thing, and he gets to like experience something that he has been missing. He's like the joyful part of things, where he's having like his midlife crisis, and now he's like, oh my gosh, I found this brand new thing. It's great.
How can you have a midlife crisis when you're dead?
It's just a thing. It can happen. I'm sure as a ghost, I'll be like, oh no, my life has no meaning. And people will be like, you're dead. And it's like, exactly. And, but yeah. And then Sally's song I thought was really sweet. Kidnap the Santa Claus was always kind of a love-hate relationship just because when I was little, it used to creep me out. But now I kind of love it. So it has
That
like this
song
weird.
is way too giddy for its subject material.
Yeah, like it's like
the lyrics are like beat him with a stick, and it's
yeah,
like
or like
it's
lock
like
him in a box where he can't escape and like put creepy crawlies inside. Like it's just really creepy. But it like is so like upbeat and like happy about it, and it's like, but it's like got that really eerie tone, and it's talking about the worst thing ever.
my favorite lyric of that is where they're collecting their weapons and Lock, Shock, and Barrel, and which one? I think Lock is the witch. Yeah, so where she's like, I wish my cohorts weren't so dumb. I love that little like bridge. I love that back and forth so much. But yeah, Kidnap the Santa Claus is way too. It's like this upbeat song.
Yeah, it's like a very weirdly upbeat song for what it actually is. Like they're talking about how like they will throw him in a bag and throw him in the ocean, then see if he's sad, and like of course he's gonna be sad because he's in the ocean, he's in a bag, and he's tied up, and he can't do anything about it. And then they're like take him to Oogie Boogie, and then he will cook him rare, so like cannibalism could be involved. Although is Oogie Boogie a man? I don't
Oogie
think he is.
Boogie's a monster.
Oogie Boogie's a monster. Yeah, he's like bugs.
Yeah, he's a bunch of bugs inside like a bag.
Yeah. Ugh. That's just
It's a
gross.
gambling problem.
With the gambling problem. Oh yeah,
It's a
he
gambling
does.
problem.
He does. He always like rolls snake eyes. Like that's his thing.
And I feel like it's implied that, like, because Oogie Boogie does not get a lot of screen time. He gets Oogie Boogie song, and then he has Santa, and then he has Sally, and then Jack, like, basically murders him. Well, no, Jack unravels him. Santa murders the last one in cold blood immediately. Like,
Yeah.
Chuck loves Santa's just like, I love the last bug is like trying to get away and maybe regroup, and Santa just steps on it.
Yes.
He's
That's like poetic justice.
so Oogie Boogie doesn't have a lot of screen time for a villain, but I feel like it's kind of implied that he wants to be big bad, like he wants to be like the king of Halloween Town or something like that.
Oh
But
yeah.
because he's just this loser who lives in a cave with a gambling problem. That's the one thing I love about their like little fight scene. Jack isn't ever like, the funniest thing is that half the time he's just walking towards Oogie Boogie with his hands on his hips. Like he's like, oh, gotta deal with him for the third time this year. Like,
Oh.
Jack is just annoyed. He's not even like, oh, the stakes are high or anything. He just looks like he's like, oh, great, it's Oogie again.
Yeah, and like I think that's one of the reasons kind of he underestimates him a little bit. And yeah, I think you're right because they all think Jack is dead. So he's like, all right, now I can do whatever I want. And then Jack shows up and then he's like, oh no, I'm so scared. And then like proceeds to try and kill Jack. So I think he was definitely trying to overtake the throne in that sense.
And when he enlists Lot, Shock, and Barrel to go get Santa, he tells them to leave that no good Oogie Boogie out of this, and like the mayor's like, oh no, it's Oogie's boys. Like, so it's implied that Oogie is at least like a nuisance in their world they have to deal with the gambling problem. But so my favorite, so this is one thing I was gonna point out, is that I noticed that after What's This, songs become a really, and this is how masterfully it's written, songs become a mix of upbeat and spooky. They meld the styles together, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, because like I think the opening Jack is really like struggling and trying to find stuff, and so the tone is a little bit sadder because he's not feeling as happy as he could be, and then he finds What's This, and all of a sudden like he's invested in something again. He's very excited about the new possibilities and everything, and so I think the tone switches, and they kind of, I think the whole song thing kind of mirrors what Jack is feeling in a sense.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the tone changes because like Making Christmas or like the town hall meeting, they're like talking about like, perhaps in the box is like a dead rat or a dead bat, but it's still super upbeat, like Kidnap the Santa Claus. And so it's like it's morbid, but it's still upbeat, and I think that's like trying to mesh Christmas and Halloween together in the style. Like you hear Christmas style instruments, like you'll hear jingle bells like in the background, stuff like that incorporated into the music. Also, everyone in this town has no life because apparently if Jack goes missing for like one day, they all have a massive meltdown. I still love like the fact that the mayor's like, oh Jack, let's start planning next Halloween, and then he's like, where is he? And then like everybody starts freaking out, searching the whole town. It's like, did he not take a day off? Or
Clearly not.
Like Halloween isn't even like 300 and like they even mention it, he's like, it's only 363 days till next 364. I love that wolf. I think that's the only line he has.
Yeah.
But I love that he's like 364.
He's like, "Oh no." Yeah, I think the mayor definitely like amps up the town way too much. Like, cause he the funny thing is he has like those dual faces. So one is always like happy and the other is always like freaked out and like, oh my god, I'm panicking. So I think as soon as the face switches, everybody is like, oh no, this must be serious. And those are his only two personalities, basically. So it's like he can't.
What happens if he feels indifferent? Does it just spin indefinitely? Like,
Oh, that would be terrible if your head just like spun around all the time. Although
or
you could.
does it like stick in the middle? So it's just like a straight line?
And then my question is, can he see out of the back one? Like, if the front one is facing, does the back one just
Um,
like go to sleep, or can he
I
see
think
out of
they've
the back of
shown
his
it. I
head?
think the eyes close when the face swaps around.
Okay,
So like when they spin around, they show like the eyes are closed in the back and the mouth closes.
so basically the one side takes like a nap.
Yeah,
See, I would think that'd be cool. Like you could actually like see like if you're in danger or something, you could see in the back of your head. So you'd have like a good view vantage point of like everything. That would be awesome.
yeah,
But also terrifying. Let's never have eyes in the back of our head, people. That would just
yeah.
be creepy.
In terms of songs, my favorite has always been "What's This" because I love how like upbeat it is. I love the instrumentation, and I just love that one. That one embodies like Christmas so much, and I just love the joy in his voice. Like he's like, "Oh my gosh, what is this place? Like, there's a smell of cake and pie everywhere, and like, this could be fun. Like, did I actually get what I wished for? Like, I love the joy of it." But my second favorite, I love Sally's song so much. It's so macabre. Then the other thing with Sally's song is the other thing that really sticks out to me is the fact that it's an anti-love song. It's a song about saying, "Hey, will he ever know that I love him? Probably not. Like it's not meant to be." It's like, and then her song's like, "What will become of him?" Like she's like, "Everything's gonna end in disaster. I never got to tell him how I felt," and it's a very good take.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of like a pining song, but yet she knows that it's probably not going to happen. And then it's kind of funny because it's like, what will become of my dear friend? But they've never actually met, as far as I'm
Well,
aware.
she brings him the gift basket, so that means they like she wheels the gift basket up to him when he's like experimenting, and the professor says like, "Oh, that's like the fourth time you snuck out this month."
Yeah, but
So
you never actually know if they've encountered each other before until like they actually talk. I mean, they definitely could have met before and talked together and become friends, but you'd never actually know that because they don't explain it. So
oh yeah,
I always in my mind thought, "Oh, she's pining for this guy and she's bringing him presents and then but she's too scared to actually stay around and talk to him." So then she runs away and then he asks her to sew for him because sew his outfit for him because he knows that she stitches herself back together all the time. So she's a great seamstress.
like the fact that she yeets herself off the roof and then sews
Yep.
herself back together.
That would be the greatest like it would be terrifying, but that would also be like the greatest superpower I think to have is just you don't feel the pain of things like your
She's
limbs
like the
falling off and then you can just
play.
put them back together and they work fine.
She's like a play on like Frankenstein
Yeah,
essentially. She's like that
but instead of a dead body, she's just leaves and uh
stuffing.
and stuffing and cloth, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah, and I love that scene where she's like, "But you're the Pumpkin King," and then he like knees the clipboard, and he's like,
Not
um,
anymore.
yeah, Jack is a lovable character. You root for him. From the beginning you meet him, he makes a great first impression, and you go like, "Oh, I want to see his story play out. I want to see him find happiness." But to be fair, Jack is kind of a big idiot.
Oh yeah,
Like
100%.
he will see a red flag and be like, "No problem."
Yeah, like they're trying to light the way for us when they're trying to shoot him out of the sky. Uh,
Whoa, down there! You almost hit us. They're
yeah,
trying to hit us.
yeah, exactly. And I thought it was really
Also,
funny because Tim Burton actually does play a character in the movie. He plays Zero.
Oh, and
So
then
he does
speaking
little
of
dog barks.
voices, I don't know who plays Jack, but Danny Elfman does the singing voice.
Chris Sarandon as Jack Skellington.
But both of them do so good in their performances that even though the voices sound different, you just accept it. Like,
Well, and I think they actually like do really well. Like it does kind of sound like the voice actor could have sung it, but they did that very well, which I thought was really cool.
both
What?
of them just expertly do their performances, and like even during his voice acting, his inflection's amazing. Like I love call a town hall meeting when immediately.
Oh my gosh, Prince Humperdinck is Jack Skellington from Princess Bride. I was like, what other things has he been in? And then it was like Prince Humperdinck. I was like, oh my god.
Oh my.
And then Catherine O'Hara, the amazing Catherine O'Hara, is Sally. And then
Does she also do Sally's singing voice then?
yes, and
I love the
then
instrumentation in Sally's song so much.
and then Pee Wee Herman plays Locke, one of the Oogie Boogie kids.
So my least favorite character is I always laugh at this character, but the character I never cared for was the mad scientist character.
He always creeped me out. And like he's basically I don't know what he's building, but like
Built his own wife at the end.
well, yeah, basically, but like was Sally supposed to be his wife? Like is that what the whole plan was or
I
was
think he
she
made
supposed to be like
Sally.
his daughter maybe or I don't know.
I think he made Sally with intentions of Sally being someone to keep him company and like be there for him. Because like when he's making his next creation, he's like, oh, now I can have conversations that actually mean something. Because I hate that, or he puts half his brain.
Ugh. And then
like
he kisses it. Then he kisses it, which is disturbing. And then
I still love the part where it shuts on his lips, though.
I know.
Me and Kawaii Guy, a streamer that Kat and I both watch and co-host on.
Yeah, John.
Shout outs to you, John.
Yay!
John and I used to always quote around this time of year, Halloween, Sally, gone again! That's that was as a kid, that one always made me laugh because of his inflection.
Mm-hmm.
You
gone again!
Gone again! He throws the lamp, the like lantern down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that character is is not necessarily my favorite because of the brain bit. That bit always was always like, oh. Even when I was younger, I was like, gross.
Yeah, he always gave me like really creepy vibes. Like he creeped me out kind of more than Oogie Boogie sometimes. Like Oogie Boogie had the ick factor because it was like he's supposed to be creepy, but then the doctor always had the ick factor of like he just seemed like a really shady person, and it just really kind of grossed me out, and I never understood why.
Well, the brain thing. That's why for me, I was like, oh, that's so gross.
Yeah.
I never. So Jack and Sally's romance very much like kind of not very at the forefront, and then they end up like kissing at the very end. Like it zooms out and you see them kiss, and you're like, oh, that's so sweet. And then if you listen to the cast album, which has narrations by Sir Patrick Stewart himself. Sir Patrick Stewart then goes and elaborates. The album then goes on to describe the fact that Jack and Sally have like 5 kids. Skeleton babies, which
do they have leaves as well?
I don't know, because all it says is there are 5 skeleton children running around causing mischief. So I guess they got married.
Aw, happy days.
Happy endings. I'm not. Oogie Boogie doesn't really leave. It's very interesting because he leaves an impact and he doesn't because he's in so little of the movie. You see him at the very, very beginning in like the moon.
Yeah, he's the shadow in the moon at night.
And then you don't see him for like 50 minutes until you find out he has a gambling problem and he's going to murder Santa. Which, I mean, his song is, first of all, very jazzy and very fun to listen to. And I like the, like, imagery, like the black light with like the skeletons and stuff like that.
Yeah, like he had a really cool blacklight style sequence, and like it was more neon versus the creepy spooky type of like darkness. It was more of like the you're on an acid trip kind of
Yeah.
basically in his domain, which was really funny.
And then the other thing with Oogie Boogie is that maybe he wanted to turn all of Halloween Town into a casino and legalize gambling, and Jack didn't want him to. Maybe that's why nobody liked him. He's like, I got an idea. We could build a casino. We could tear down. Maybe he's like the evil businessman character we never knew. He wanted to tear down Halloween Town and build a casino. And
Nice.
everybody was like, no, not the rec center.
Well, I like that they got like an actual like Broadway person to play Oogie Boogie as well, because he played Old Deuteronomy in Cats, and he's done a whole bunch of like productions, which I thought was it's really good when you like have like a good like soul song to bring on someone who can actually nail it.
Yeah.
The cat is
So
being crazy.
to something posed at the beginning of the episode, you think this could be on stage?
I do. Like Beetlejuice had such a good production, and I think if they did this well, it would follow kind of the same suit because it has such a following and like it's such a cult favorite. It's not even like a cult classic, it's like a huge classic for everybody because it was so nostalgic. And I think
the movie that kept Hot Topic in business over
yeah.
the years.
And I think if they did it right, it would be a really cool stage production because I saw like the fan stage production outfits and it looked amazing. So if they could like make that into a real thing, that would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be interesting. You think they would have to make it longer, or?
I think they'd have to be more detailed because a lot of it is just kind of like showing montages of like Jack discovering things and putting presents together and things like that. And I think they need to have a little bit more detailed storyline for the stage because you can't just have like music playing and then him being like cutting up a piece of paper and it making expecting a snowflake and it's all of a sudden a spider web. I mean, you can do that, but you also need stuff to go with it.
You would also have to find a new way to do some of the visuals.
Mm-hmm.
Like using props or something, like when Sally like detaches her arm to like get away or something. You would have to find creative ways to do that.
Yeah, which would be really cool, and I would really love to see how they would actually do that.
Then also you could they probably have to add a song or two because you have to add stuff to make it worthy of being on stage. Like you can't just like put the movie back on there. For example, they might even like introduce Oogie Boogie earlier and maybe give him a second song or like a reprise of his song.
Yeah, or like give him more of a backstory and like why is he like
he
stuck
wants
in
to build a casino over Halloween Town, and he's gonna destroy the rec center. Where all the little ghoul kids play basketball and like learn how to scare people, and also where community theater happens. We can't destroy the rec center.
Or like how did Jack become the Pumpkin King? Like they could do like a backstory there, and they could do how Sally
his
came to
relationship
be.
with Sally.
Yeah, exactly. Like they have the time to actually like make it run super smooth and explain stuff is what I think would be really cool.
And have an 8-minute tap number.
No.
I could see Oogie Boogie getting a tap number, like a bunch of people in like skeleton outfits
Or little bugs.
Little bugs. The sandworm isn't gonna tap dance in Beetlejuice. I mean, this is the next best thing.
Get Lock, Shock, and Barrel to do the tap number.
Oh, we get like 3 versions of Kidnap the Santa Claus. They just like modernize it so it's like a Kidnap the Santa Claus, something, whatever. Make him think he has followers, but it's really bots. Like, just, modern. No.
Maybe. No.
Okay, so we have Santa Claus. Santa Claus uses TikTok in the Broadway version. Santa Claus is a TikToker because we have to keep it modern, and Oogie Boogie is trying to destroy the rec center. So you're welcome, everyone. This is the version of Nightmare, and Jack has a backwards hat for some reason.
No.
Yeah.
Well, then they wouldn't have to put a bald cap on the dude. They could
And
just
the professor made Sally so he could have someone to play Fortnite with him. There you go.
do some
You're welcome.
Minecraft.
He's just really addicted to playing Minecraft, but nobody wants to play it with him. Oh my gosh.
Nobody will mine this dirt with me and create a house.
But he's also like a really boring Minecraft player. Like he
Hello, followers. Today we will be digging for coal. Oh my goodness!
Wait, where's my followers? Gone again! Okay, so
Oh
there
my
you go.
gosh.
There's the real version, Nightmare Before Christmas. You're welcome, everybody. I hope you enjoy it. Will Disney ever use Nightmare Before Christmas again? That's a question worth asking. No, I don't think they will.
What do you mean use Nightmare Before Christmas?
Like, ever make like a TV series or reboot it or put it on Broadway. Even though it's big, they don't really like to acknowledge it besides
Yeah.
this movie, a video game called Oogie Boogie's Revenge, which added a bunch of original songs to it. By that I mean they take the background music and they add lyrics to it.
Is Jack or any of them in any of the Kingdom Hearts stuff? I can't
Yes, there
remember.
is.
Okay.
So in the first game, go to Halloween Town
Mhm.
and you fight Oogie Boogie. Then you have to do it again in Chain of Memories because Sora is like reliving all of his memories, and you have to fight Oogie. Like, it's actually thematically very on point. Like,
Mhm.
Oogie Boogie has like this big roulette wheel, and you have to like avoid traps and stuff. And then you like have to hit the dice at the right time for his gate to go down, and then you get up there and you smack the crap out of him. So then after that, in Kingdom Hearts 2, you go to Halloween Town again, but Kingdom Hearts 2 introduced the idea of revisiting worlds.
Mhm.
So then you go back and it's Christmas Town, and you have to fight like a giant, because Jack tries making a present, and the present's like a huge monster, and you have to fight it. So, but outside of that, aside from video games, they do not acknowledge Nightmare Before Christmas, like in the slightest. But
Other than when they play it during Halloween and Christmas time.
and the fact that at Disney World apparently they turn the Haunted Mansion every Christmas into a Nightmare Before Christmas attraction.
That would be cool.
They turn the groundskeeper into like Santa Jack and like
Mhm.
stuff like that. And like Oogie Boogie has a big presence, like because they'll have like Oogie Boogie's Halloween Bash as an
Mhm.
event there. So they acknowledge him, but he's not. Nightmare Before Christmas isn't like one of their go-tos. Like, oh, we should reboot it. Please never make a live-action Nightmare Before Christmas. If you're an executive at Disney and you're listening to this, please don't. Thinking about it, put that
Make the
pen
musical.
down. Maybe make it a musical if you can find ways to make it work and expand it. Have Oogie Boogie destroy the rec center. You know, I'm telling you, this is the plot line we need.
Mm-mm.
The evil corporate CEO, Oogie Boogie, is trying to build a casino over at Halloween Town Rec Center. We can make it Nightmare Before Footloose. You're welcome.
For Footloose.
Yeah, Nightmare Before Footloose. You're welcome.
Oh my god.
Have like a beatbox version of This Is Halloween. Bum, bum, dun, 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 dun. Everybody's like breakdancing.
Oh no. So it's Footloose meets Step Up meets Nightmare Before Christmas.
Exactly. This is the logical conclusion that we've been waiting to get to.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm telling you. The professor made Sally so someone will play Minecraft with him. It just makes sense.
Oh my god.
I'm so proud of myself for this one. Okay, time for the debate. Halloween or Christmas movie? What is it?
It's both.
If you had to pick one,
It's both.
it's not the.
I will stick to my guns, sir. It is both. I watch it on both holidays because I can watch it twice a year. What do you think?
In all honesty, it's both.
Yes.
It's
come
both.
come to the dark side of both options.
It's a you can watch it in both. It leans a little bit more towards Christmas because it starts as Halloween is wrapping up. Well, like This Is Halloween is the opening song, and it takes place in Halloween Town. I would say that it leans a little bit more towards. It's very good to watch in December because it definitely leans heavily in on the Christmas side.
Yeah, but it also brings back the spooky season that you're missing. And by you, I mean me, because you like Christmas more than
I mean, for me, Halloween always if anybody loves Halloween, that's great. It's fun. It's fun to dress up and get candy. I
Mhm.
just don't celebrate the aspect of Halloween where it's all about scaring other people because I feel like people turn Halloween into pseudo April Fool's Day, which is really odd. It's like, oh, let's go egg this person's house or throw TP their house or this or that.
Well, that's the criminal aspect of it, which is not the beautiful thing.
What documentary is that? The criminal trick or treat? Question mark. The criminal aspect of Halloween.
Yes.
But I enjoy it well enough. Halloween's okay. It's not my all-time favorite. There's a lot of holidays that I like more, but for me, Christmas is always about like giving to others and giving back and kind of like spending time with the people you love. So I always love like the warmth and joy
Mhm.
and eating an excessive amount of cookies. And yeah, I'm glad, of course, that you watched it. It's a classic. You have to watch Nightmare Before Christmas every year. The songs are iconic. The movie is really fun. It's very well paced. Yeah, there's just some story beats that are missing.
Yeah.
But besides
That
that,
could be better thought out. Yeah.
yeah, like Jack's relationship with Sally, some characters' motivations, Oogie Boogie's backstory. If the
Mhm.
movie was even 20 minutes longer, a lot of that could have been explained.
Mhm.
But the world is fun. People, the characters are very unique. The art style is different. The music style is perfect, and a
It
perfect way to greet the October season.
it's just a perfect movie. Mostly. It has some flaws, but it's
Aside from
perfect.
that bit with the brain, that makes it lose at least a solid point on my list. Like, it's so short. Do you have any final thoughts to share on this classic Halloween film? Classic both film?
uh Watch it. If you've never seen it before, you're missing out, so I encourage you to watch it. If you've watched it before, watch it again. It's amazing.
Or listen to the soundtrack, or listen to Nightmare Revisited, where a bunch of artists redid it, and it's a
Yeah.
very, very fun listen.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we will see you again soon. I hope everybody here has a happy, healthy, and safe Halloween. And
Yay.
if you're an adult who can't go trick or treating, a happy and healthy and safe November 1st when all of this is half off. I will see you at Target.
You can still have Halloween parties and be happy, healthy, and safe.
or having a Halloween party.
Yes.
Or if you're like me and who's not partying at the moment due
Mhm.
to current events, mask up, half off candy, party for one. Just saying. Yeah, that I will be blasting This Is Halloween when I'm getting like the half off candy. Because to me, as a grown up, that is Halloween. Even though it's November 1st at that point.
It's always
But
Halloween. It can be Halloween whenever you want. Happy Easter. It's Halloween.
I mean, the Easter Bunny is in this movie.
He is, and he's adorable. Bunny.
It just runs back in the bag.
I know. Aw. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We hope you had a lot of fun as much as we had fun making this. And yeah, be sure to like and subscribe. And we're working on getting this podcast on more platforms where you can listen from your car or while you're doing chores or whatever you feel like.
While you're
Like,
knocking over strangers to get half off candy.
yes. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Happy Halloween.